Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Radio Geonosis, where we talk about Star Wars from a certain point of view. I'm Angie.
And I'm Aaron. What's up, guys?
Hey, and today our topic is going to be off characters from Star Wars. Your favorite off character. So someone who isn't in the limelight, but they're kind of in the limelight.
Yeah.
So I came up with Bear Sophie, and Aaron's got a bag of fun characters.
Couple characters for my gamers out there, and I'm pretty excited. Yeah.
But before we do that, we're going to get to some hot happenings this week. So Star Wars has another game coming out, Fallen Order video game officially announced. It's currently in development with EA-owned studios, which I thought was kind of cool. EA is back in the game.
They're back in the game, and they're EA's doing their thing right now.
Yeah, because wasn't it for a while they were out of it?
Well, and they were just going through like a whole different kind of change, like EA and Tiburon. Tiburon made Madden, but then they brought developers over from Tiburon to work on Star Wars game, and it was just a lot going on. So it's good.
It's like a Hollywood party.
Yeah, it really is though. So it's good that they're back in the fold.
Yeah,
it really is good.
And it's said to take place between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, fall of 2019. We will see this game, and I think it's kind of fall into with the new movie.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see a lot of stuff like that. Here's another one from the rumor mill. They said that the character coming from the rumor mill, a threat bigger than the Sith, is coming from beyond. So I'm wondering what are we gonna see, Revan?
From beyond?
From beyond. We're gonna be seeing a threat bigger than the Sith. What's bigger than the Sith? For the movie, I have no idea. I thought that was kind of like, wow.
As far as like what could possibly be bigger than the Sith, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. It has to be someone like how we see in Star Wars, like something out, some order, some regime, something out the shadows.
Yeah, but remember, this is coming from the rumor mill, so you don't know.
We don't even know.
How about this one? Elon Musk apparently visiting the set of Mandalore. What are they going to give? What is he trying to give out? A Tesla?
You know what? He
wants a Tesla in the show.
I watched him on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he's like, I don't know. If he's on the set, it's something crazy. It's something he's like, oh, I could make this. Probably. It's gonna probably be something like that.
Yes, we're gonna see some sort of Tesla kind of car on the set.
Awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Okay, so here's another one. Possible title for the Star Wars Episode 9 was leaked. Balance of the Force. I don't know. Please say that's not true, because I really did not like that name.
The Balance of the Force?
The Balance of the Force, because it's The Force Awakens. Yeah, at least A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
Not so much emphasis on Force?
Yeah.
Not so much emphasis on Force?
Not so much emphasis on the same name is what I'm saying, because it was The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Balance of the Force? I'm like, really? We haven't drifted too far from that name.
Yeah. And there's Force Unleashed. A lot of forces out there.
Yes, so get away from the Force. I hope they pick another name. Yeah. I really, really do, because I didn't like that. I read that and I was like, really? I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I cannot get behind that.
If it's good, then will it bother you as much?
I don't know.
If you enjoy it, will it bother you as
I guess
much?
I would if I enjoyed the movie, yeah. But I really, because they're trying to be so different, the name to me didn't seem like they tried too hard.
Okay, gotcha.
So I did not really like that.
Gotcha.
So that's the hot happenings this week. I was kind of scrolling around trying to find stuff. A lot of stuff. People saying, they thought they were going to see a movie, a leak of the movie during Super Bowl. We needed to see something during Super Bowl because it was really boring.
Oh, Super Bowl? You didn't like the Super Bowl? People didn't like the Super Bowl.
It was boring. There was more going on at the Puppy Bowl.
Yeah, you know what? And we were dead at work at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I can. You know what? Everybody was asleep.
Everybody, it was, I was expecting like a big crowd of people just watching the game at the bar, at least just casually, and there was no one there.
Yeah.
So but
I'm surprised because I've worked Super Bowl Sunday few times.
We got an end game trailer though, and then so shout out to Marvel for dropping like an end game.
Yeah, I saw
Endgame
that
teaser. And what was so awesome about the teaser, if you haven't saw it, there's no way you didn't see because it just randomly came on, of course. But like, Rocket Raccoon is in like his old school uniform, and I just thought that was like really, really dope.
I saw that. So we'll
shout out
see.
to Marvel for throwing that detail. I was
like,
what?
Wake us up, man, because even the halftime show was pretty bad. My oldest son is writing on Facebook, "What is this we're seeing?"
Oh, did he? Did he?
Yes. Adam Levine had to save it by taking his shirt off, but still, it was like, oh my God.
And I've never been the one for halftime shows anyway, because I just wanted to watch the game. So
I mean, there's been a few halftime shows that is cool, and someone put up a meme that Janet Jackson made a mean face because Adam Levine was showing all his teeth.
Big Boy from Outkast came out and performed, so I thought that was pretty. With the Super Bowl being in Atlanta. Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Oh my gosh, Gladys Knight was wonderful. I loved her.
Gladys Knight, yeah, Gladys Knight was really singing. Those twins did well too.
Those twins were fantastic.
Yeah. There was a show right there.
And beautiful, by the way.
There was a show right there. Yeah.
Yeah, the rest just went downhill. Okay, so our Star Wars off character. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I want to go first, and what I want to start off by saying, like, I know for the gamers out there, again, like, this is just of me just gaming out of, like, Star Wars games. They don't come often, and when they do, they're not always good, but this one is good. If you guys haven't played Battlefront 2, like, the story for Battlefront 2, all new original story, written by, developed by EA, publishers Electronic Arts, everyone knows it, but the director, Bernd Diemer is his name. Diemer, I'm not really sure how you pronounce it. And just like George Lucas or the people at Star Wars lets every person who does develop a game just let loose with the story, make it like their own original story.
I like that.
It was a really, really good story. Yeah, they just give them the freedom to make their own story. Like, go ahead. Like, we're not even going to stop you. You can use whatever planet you want, use whatever character you want from, for the Republic or it doesn't matter. They just give them the freedom to come up with their own story. And my character is Iden Verso. Who is played by Janina Gavankar, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. She's being interrogated for the codes to unlock the Imperial transmission aboard a rebel Mon Calamari Star Cruiser. So like she's basically getting plans for she starts off the game by getting plans for I can't even think of his name. He's just staring at us like every episode we do right now. The Palpatine
for the Palpies.
For the Palps, you know what I mean? So she's working like up close with the Palp. She's the person like he counts on, like if it's not Darth Vader or someone like that, it's her. She gets in and she gets out. She has a two-man crew. It's just her and two other dudes who she trusts, and they just get in and get out. But the reason why I like Iden Verso is because at a point in the game, in the story of the game, she has to make a tough decision. And she starts off the game by like it's all about her. She's dedicated to the Empire. She's very, very dedicated to the Empire, but they put her in a situation where she had to make a tough choice, and she made it with no hesitation. But the reason why I like her is because there was no hesitation. It was like she had all this loyalty to the Empire, but when they saw that they were like she was pretty much disposable, no matter how loyal she was.
Everybody's disposable in the Empire.
And I know I sound like I'm rambling, but it's because I'm trying to put together, because it's a game.
Doesn't sound like you're rambling.
Yes, it's a game at the end of the day, but the character Iden Verso, her name is Awesome One. And if she was in the Star Wars universe, she would be anyone's favorite. She's that good. She's that like understanding of a character. You know why she made the tough decision. It's a how could they do this to me type of story. Like how could they? And the fact that they did it, I'm gonna go all in. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And she ends up being who Princess Leia like basically gives the rebel over. She basically like this is meant for you to like to take over. Like
wow.
You are like someone who I feel like could run all of this. And she gets married to her best friend. They have a kid. He passes away doing what anyone who
This all happens in the game.
It's the story. The story is it's an incredible story.
I'm gonna have to look at that.
You could just watch the cinematic story on YouTube. It's like a really, really good story. The gameplay didn't even matter to me. The story was dope. Even to her having a daughter, and the daughter is also like really good at combat, and it's like it just carries over. Like my mom and dad were the shit. Mind my language. The daughter just the shit too, and and then some. Like
wow.
So this point is like you're so good. Like we kind of have to reel you back in so you kind of don't lose yourself.
Yeah.
You don't get too ahead of yourself, and she's that good. So just the story is like really good, and Ray's in it, and Han Solo's in it, and Princess Leia's in it, Kylo Ren's in it. Like it's such a really good story. So Electronic Arts, man, like again, like one of our high happenings was them doing the game. If you guys make it anything, at least the story,
yeah,
like how you did Battlefront 2. Which Battlefront 1 didn't have a story, not made people upset. So for you guys to come back with Battlefront 2 and the story be like this good, like kudos. So
I think that's what makes the game so good, because you see a lot of the games have like this backstory, and even like in oh my gosh, my son liked to play it with the Chief. I forgot what it's called. Halo. It had it has such a great backstory. Yeah.
And for Battlefront 1 again not having a story, that upset a lot of fans. For them to come back like, we did mess up. We just thought it was going to be just this online game, but it's like it's not a Star Wars. We need a story to make us want to play a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
And Iden Versa was such a awesome. She's a really.
It's really cool
character.
That they can come up with these kind of characters, put it in the movies.
And that's what you know what? And I'm sitting here watching the story, and they do motion capture. We were just actually talking about motion capture yesterday, but they do motion capture. They do motion capture for the games, and like it's real actors. They just put the stuff on them.
Yeah, and stand in front of the green screen.
Exactly.
But still,
you might as well just do a movie. They're killing it. They're killing the story. Like the story's good, and it's about like an hour or so long. You could stretch it another hour and make a whole new movie.
Yeah.
I mean, she started off as it was one of the you brought a character book like with like the different costumes and stuff. She works for the Empire. She starts off again on the Empire, but she's like the infantry, all black armor.
I bet her costume's cool.
Yeah,
too.
her costume's it's really. She has her own droid like on her back that like it's on her backpack, and the Chancellor he sends her in to get the job done. Like call Iden Verso, get her on the phone.
Is she like a death trooper?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I've seen someone has cosplayed her.
Yeah, exactly. Cause she's. I see in the next like few years, like as far as like cosplay goes, or like like cons go, you're gonna see a lot of people dress up as her. Cause they even gave her kind of like a iconic hairstyle too, to where it's like she kind of has her own hairstyle and everything.
Right.
Too, but that's who he sent out to get shit done. Was Iden Verso on her 2-man team. She ends up marrying one of her best friends.
Wow.
One of her best friends turns over because he sees there's a vacant spot closer to the top, so he tries to assassinate. It's just a crazy, crazy story.
Oh man, you picked a good character.
Iden Verso.
Mine, I only have one. So mine was Barriss Offee. And I really liked her because she's kind of a mysterious girl. She was in the background, but it's what she does and everything that comes about during the Clone Wars that I really liked the story, and I liked her. Mm-hmm. She was a female, Mara Allen. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Mara Allen.
Yeah.
Who trained as a Jedi, as a Padawan during the Clone Wars. She carried a blue lightsaber and trained under Jedi Master Luminara Undula. She was extremely loyal to her master. Barriss preferred learning and studying ancient texts in the temple to war. She didn't like going to war. She was a bit older than most Padawans, which I want to know why. Because I when I was looking it up, I didn't really see a whole lot on there why she was older, and because most of them are picked at about 12.
And Anakin was older too.
Right? No. Yeah, but when he went to train with Obi-Wan, he was about the right age that should be.
Oh, okay.
Because she was an older Padawan, so they may have left her in the temple a little bit longer, and then she went to train with Undula.
Okay.
So I don't know why. I don't know what was the situation for that. A talented Jedi healer who ascended to the Jedi knighthood, born 40 BBY. So she was about, during the time of Order 66, she was 40.
You think she was
Right
out
around
on the field?
40.
Was she out on the field when
Yeah,
all that,
she
when all that
was.
Oh wow.
Yeah. To parents she would never see again. During her training with her master, Undula, Undula not only instructed her on the ways of the Force, but also in the ways of their tradition, because they both were Maryland, in the heritage and the specialty of the art of Force healing. So they were Force healers.
Yeah.
So in her books, remember we were talking about the people that were hanging around the hospital, and they were like a really strange group of healers.
Yeah.
She was part of that.
She was one of them.
Yeah. She was a survivor of the Battle of Geonosis, because that was the very first time we see the clones, and that's the beginning of the Clone Wars. During her time as a Jedi Padawan, Ophi struck up a friendship with Ahsoka Tano, and we see that in the Clone Wars.
Do you think they knew the war was going to be that big though? You think when they stepped on the battlefield and they saw like everyone just getting dropped off and George just getting dropped off and rolling and landing and then having like force fields around him? Do you think that you think everyone knew the war was going to be that big on Geonosis?
I'm not sure, because when they came, they were in an arena, remember? And Geonosis, they were in that arena. And then they saw the droids around them. I think that's the first time they saw the real droid army. I don't know. Now remember, they're not fighting the Sith, they're fighting droids.
And like little aliens that come out of it. And
bugs.
Yeah, exactly. But then the war just started right after that. So do you don't even think they saw that coming? Like everything just coming out, like they're already there in the pit. Let's start a war. Let's might as well get the war going right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I don't think that I think that some of the Jedi did not know that the clones were going to be coming to save them. Mm-hmm. They had no idea. That was the first time they're seeing the clone army or any information of the clone army, because only a few people like Mace Windu and Yoda really knew. The council knew about what was going on and what the clones were.
Yeah.
But all of the other Jedi, I believe, they just knew they needed to get to Geonosis to help Obi-Wan and Anakin. So I don't really think that they knew. Yeah, and she was Ahsoka Tano was a Padawan learner to Anakin Skywalker. Though both were different in personalities, they bonded and they shared experiences in combat. So they were friends, Ahsoka Tano and Barriss Offee. Yeah, seeing the reality of war and all that it did to the Jedi and the galaxy firsthand as the Clone War continued, Offee grew disillusioned with what was going on. She grew disillusioned with the role of the Jedi. She grew disillusioned with the war and believed that believed they had lost their way and the idea of the Jedi Order. She was kind of getting a crooked picture of what was happening, but I think only because of where she was being sent to. In the Clone Wars, they were being sent to all these different planets, and they were fighting and not really understanding the whole missions of what was going on. And I think that it was causing her to get really upset with the Jedi. Like, why are we here? What are we doing here?
And this is actually one of the best episodes to me.
Yes.
A lot went on.
It was a heartbreaker, let me tell you. And so she was really weary of the Jedi Council in particular, and she like I said, she was just really upset. Like, why are we doing this? Yeah, reading the ancient text, she's like, this is not right.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's kind of what this was. This episode was like about. Like you got that about her.
Yeah.
Where she was just like, you know what I mean? She just had like she had her suspicions.
Yes, and in reading, like, she liked to study the ancient text. In reading the ancient text, she's seeing that what it's supposed to be and what it is. Mm-hmm. And in that time, in that 1,000-year time, I'm sure things had changed.
Oh, drastically, for sure.
Yes, they're going from say this but do that.
Yeah.
And I think it caused her to be upset with the Jedi, and it caused her to go down a really terrible path and betray friends.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And so she decided to act on her on her anger, and she orchestrated the bombing of the Jedi Temple hangar as a means to foment the future, to kind of get the message out to the Jedi. Hey, I don't like what's going on. But she did not say who did it.
Oh, she never like
She bombed. She bombed the Jedi Temple, and despite their friendship, she allowed Ahsoka Tano to be blamed
for
the bombing. Yeah. But ultimately, she confessed after being confronted by Anakin Skywalker just before Tano was about to be convicted for the crime, and shared her views of the Jedi being corrupted by the dark side before being taken away. Now think about that. She's telling Anakin that, who is already starting to have those feelings as well.
Yeah. So he's standing over her, just looking at her, like, listen to her say how she feels. He feels the same way.
Yeah, he's starting to feel it too.
Yeah.
But this eventually leads to Ahsoka Tano leaving the temple altogether. She left the Jedi Order because they didn't believe her.
And it kind of goes back to like when we had like the episode early on when we first started about like the Jedi code and the Sith code, and it's like Jedi obviously feel a way about the code at the end of the day, because it seems like Jedi more so like they kind of are the first to, you know, to tiptoe onto the dark side. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
But if the dark side breaks any of the codes, they don't care, because they're doing what they have to do to make whatever they need happen.
And I think because at the end of the day, like Jedi, like they're heroes, and the hero mindset is like, you know, you want to go about and do things the right way. You know what I mean? You want to try to save everybody, but there comes to a point where you realize, you know, you're still gonna get ridiculed. You're gonna try your best, and you're still gonna get ridiculed. You could have done better. And then you trickle over to, you know, like, who cares?
We're getting it done.
We're getting it done in either way. You know what I mean? Like, it's still safer than it was. And that's, I think, why they're so quick to turn. It's like, I'm not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes in the field that we do. In our line of business, like, I'm going to there's going to be some hiccups. Because I can't save everybody. I can't predict every outcome to be, you know.
But what can make you feel, you know, really like disillusioned with the whole Jedi is reading the ancient texts and
then seeing how things are working now.
Yeah, see how that's all playing out, and you're seeing people break rules and do all kinds of things, and you're like, hey, wait a minute, this is not the way it's supposed to be.
Like, you guys are radicals. Like, the Jedi texts, like, they prayed all day long. Like, you guys are radicals. You guys are doing this. But things are going to change over 1,000 years.
Yeah. She ultimately makes, when she bombs the Jedi hangar, she does one thing. She had a friend, Tutso Mira, a Jedi Knight who served the Jedi Order during the Clone Wars, trained with Padawan Barriss. Ophi taught her how to properly hold her lightsaber. Mira was killed during the bombing of the Jedi Temple hangar, which Barriss orchestrated. So she had to have been heartbroken to know that she caused his murder.
She can't come back from that.
No. Especially if this guy, you know, if she felt anything for the guy. Because, you know, Jedi aren't supposed to, like, you know, get in relationships. But they do.
They do, exactly.
But they do. And so, obviously, she might have had some sort of relationship with him, knowing that she orchestrated the bombing and he was there and she killed him.
Yeah.
I'm sure that crushed her.
Yeah, that part devastated, you know. But you can't do that in the first place. You know, and that's, again, like, it goes back to, like, even if you do feel a certain way about how the Jedi are ran now, even if you read the old text, you just still can't go blow up a hangar.
No, she should have brought her concerns to Luminara, and just to Undula, just to try and maybe she could have helped her. Maybe she could have talked with her.
Yeah,
you know, and
you think. I've always thought about this too, though. And I might be like just thinking too hard, but taking, if you feel a certain way about how like things are being done, and you take things. It's like you tell whoever you're say you're a Padawan or you're whatever, you're coming up, and you have a master. You have these certain thoughts like, man, this is like kind of not cool or whatever. It's like, hey, master, I don't think well, okay, like you could take it up with me or whatever, or you could like go up to the Jedi Council. You think as like just an up and coming, like it might be a little intimidating to like with Mace Windu looking across from you and Yoda
him, yes.
So it's like I don't even want to talk to these people about what's going. You know what I mean? Like,
but she could have talked to her master. But also remember, in one of the episodes, they go to a planet and all of them end up getting the worm in their head.
Yeah.
And so possibly she got a little bit of a virus from that, and it caused her to think that way.
Maybe some PTSD or
kind of.
Yeah,
it could have been.
It could have been. Yeah.
Yeah, she could have had that kind of. Well, and at that point, thinking straight.
Yeah.
You see that in a lot of people these days. How they're reacting. A guy just shot up a bank. He was he just had gotten back from the from some war or whatever, and had that PTSD. So I don't know, but for this is, I read this, we go past what happens. She was in jail for a while, obviously, but for some unknown reason, Barriss remains in the Jedi Order. She remained, and in partnership with her former master. So former master means that she no longer is with her master.
Yeah.
Maybe Undula has a new Padawan now. So, but Barriss and her remain friends. Maybe because Undula understood her.
Yeah, where she was coming
and
from.
what was happening and where she was coming from, and the way they were both from the same planet and they're both the same species. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah,
maybe
and
that's
she
why.
did have a virus in her head, or a worm, so she could always fall back on that argument too.
Yeah, it says until the end of the Clone Wars, despite her attack on the temple right before Order 66. So she remains with the Jedi Order. She remains friends and has a relationship with her former master. Barriss was dispatched to Felucia to serve as a healer with her new Padawan Zonder. So she gets a Padawan. So I'm not sure what the heck. They were captured by Gasson commandos working for the Confederacy Independent Systems, and thrown into prison. They were later rescued, and she and her former master were killed during Order 66 at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's so sad.
Karma.
That is hard when I see
you
that
were Barriss,
part
you cosplayed as her.
Yes,
though.
I've cosplayed as Barriss, and I'm hopefully going to finish that costume so it could become official, because the one I had wasn't really official. But it's so sad when, that's the hard part about watching Revenge of the Sith, is at the end when all of the Jedi are getting killed. That, for me, that's very, very hard.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing a 1,000-year reign of something, of the good guys just going down quick. It's hard for me to see that. I cry every time. I try not to, but I do it every time.
No, it's a definitely like a hard few episodes to watch, because there's like a series, it's 2 or 3 of them.
Even in the Clone Wars at the very end, when you see all of them in they're Force ghosts. Mm-hmm. They're all together.
Yeah,
and they're by a tree, by the way.
So everyone's always by a tree.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like that in The Last Jedi. But I just put that together. There's a tree.
Yeah, there's a tree.
I don't know what it is about a tree. Maybe it was because it's a family. Mm-hmm. Like a family tree kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be.
Who knows? All right, who's your other character?
Well, honestly, it was Iden Verso, but I don't know the. Because again, when I was talking about the story about her, she had 2 wingmen she would go in with, and I thought
you were gonna pick a Mandalore. You said you're picking a Mandalore.
Oh no, I'm not gonna pick a Mandalore. I was gonna say Galen Merrick, but I use him too much. But if I had to choose another character, just thinking,
no, Galen has a great story.
Galen has the best story to me, but I always go back to him. I always go back to Galen. But if I had to choose,
because that's your inner. That's your inner animal. Galen,
because Galen is probably he's probably exactly how I would do shit though. I think that's why I like Galen Merrick so much because I identify with like, you know, what he went through, and what he went through was like, you know, it was messed up. It was like it was.
He was a pawn in a game,
and it was as messed up as any like Star Wars story I've come across. You know what I mean? Just the fact that he was. We know Darth Vader, but you don't really know the people who like work with him like directly like that. You may know one. You may know the Palp. You know, and maybe usually you just if you were associated with Darth Vader with anyone besides Luke or Leia or whatever, it would probably be Palpatine because that was just the guy right over him. You know, but you didn't know who was like working along Darth Vader under. Galen Merrick was like one person you could like attach him to now.
But what's really crazy is you don't know if that was the real Galen or if it was one of his many clones.
And that's the problem because and the Galen you play doesn't even know, and that's really messed up.
So the original Galen, in the beginning of the game, are you the Galen or you don't know?
In the beginning of the game, you're a baby. You're probably like 6 years old, and you take the lightsaber from Darth Vader. And that's the first Galen you see.
Okay, so that's the original Galen.
The next Galen you see is like Galen like around is like 25, like 26, 25, 25.
But they probably didn't clone him yet.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I wouldn't be surprised as soon as they got him when he was like 6, put him on a ship. You know, they probably wiped his face, get a shot, get an injection real quick, like draw his blood, and then already start working on
another one.
Yeah, and then the next time you do see him after he's just a kid is like him putting a lightsaber together, like when he's like in his mid-20s.
But they would have to, in order to make them about the same age, because they can't really use anything to quicken the age process. Mm-hmm. They would have to let it go naturally. Yeah. So basically they would probably have to start cloning him right at 6 years old, because 6 years later he would be 6 years old.
Exactly.
So then they would have that Galen Merrick. But you said there was a room that had all the different Galens in it.
There was a room with a whole bunch of pods, like a whole bunch of.
Was it adults or kids?
Adults.
So maybe they did use some sort of growth thing.
So they had to do something, like, you know what I mean,
in order to speed it up.
And that's what you kind of.
But then that's the mystery.
Yeah, it is, and that's what I mean. That's the messed up part. You associate him with Darth Vader, and like right when you think Darth Vader was like, oh, he turned the leaf. He passed away, but he was turning the leaf. He told Luke he's sorry and everything. With Galen, he was doing all this messed up stuff. You know, just a straight pawn. Just like I have, like, yeah. You only here because I have a use for you, like, so I don't get my hands dirty.
I think Anakin at that point, he had no more feelings. You know, Padme passed away. A child that she was carrying was gone. Mm. So, and he knew that he had caused her death. You know, so he was so disillusioned himself with the whole thing, heartbroken on top of that.
And he looked like shit too.
Yeah, I mean, he was fried to a fried to a French fry.
Like shit.
All right, so we're gonna have to end it here. So next time, what are we gonna work on?
I don't have a list in here.
I don't have a list. But we're gonna come up with some sort of potpourri show for you. We're gonna do some pick pans and favorites there for you.
That's fine with me. That'll work.
All right. From all of us here at Radio Geonosis, we're gonna see you next time. Please follow us on Instagram,
on YouTube as well. Make sure you get those subscribers up.
Yes, at Radio Geonosis, and then also on Facebook at Radio Geonosis 2.0, and again on
at Mad Studios as well too. This is where the show goes down. We record live from here all the time. We said Twitter and Podbean and iTunes. We're going to get the iTunes situation, whatever's going on. So make sure you guys just follow us.
And please check out the guys from Mad Studio. They have a really great promo coming up, and I would love to see it. All right. We'll see you next time.
Later, guys.